Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the War Train here. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys my newest gaming pickups, but I'm also going to be replying to my good friend Matt from the channel Chillscissors. Now, if you have never watched Matt's channel Chillscissors, definitely go check it out. You won't be disappointed. But he came out in his last video and he basically asked a bunch of us here in the community one question and asked if we would make a reply video. Why we became collectors of all this stuff you see around me here. And that's an absolutely great question. A lot of us don't really talk about that stuff. You know, we might hint at some of the stuff from our past, but a lot of times we don't really get into a lot of our personal stuff. There's kind of no reason to. I don't know that most of you guys even want to hear that stuff. A lot of you guys are here to check out gaming stuff, which is awesome because these are gaming channels, all of us. But you know, it is cool to kind of dive into things like this because it is so related to all this, and it is important. But first, before we get into that, we're going to check out these pickups and then we'll dive into that question. Okay, so first thing I want to show is something my buddy Steve Craig from Steve Craig Retro Games had on his channel in a pickups video, and when he told the price in that video, I had to go pick it up. And that is no other than this right here for the Wii U, the Skylanders Superchargers Starter Pack with the Donkey Kong Amiibo. This is something that I've actually been wanting to get for a while now. I did check it out once before to pick it up, just really the Amiibo, and they were asking too much for it. But here, over time, it's gone down, and you know, he said this thing was $9.99 for a sealed, you know, a whole starter pack. I couldn't pass that up because, you know, if you guys been watching the channel for a bit, you know I do collect Amiibos. I have quite a few of them. I haven't got any new ones in a while, but I'm always looking, you know, for the right price. And this was definitely the right price, so it was time to add this to the collection. So thanks again, Steve. Oh man, absolutely awesome to finally have this in the collection. And something that I seen in my buddy Matt from the channel Chillscissors, again, watch all his videos, and he did an excellent unboxing of this. And when I seen it, I had to order this immediately. And that is Keanu Reeves doing Johnny Silverhand in the upcoming game Cyberpunk 2077. This is an awesome looking figure with Keanu just rocking out on the guitar. I normally don't collect figures, but when I seen this, I had to jump on it. Because I just thought it was awesome, and this game looks phenomenal. I cannot wait till it comes out. And I mean, this is just such a cool looking figure. Try to get the glare off the plastic, but if you want to see this like out of the box, definitely check out Chillscissors' video unboxing this. It looks awesome, and this is actually a pretty big figure. I want to say this thing's like a foot maybe. You know, it's a McFarlane Toys figure, and man, they make some awesome you know, just little figures like this. Absolutely awesome quality. The glasses on him are transparent, you can see through them, so they actually look like real sunglasses. The box is gorgeous. On the back you get an awesome picture of them, and inside it actually includes a backdrop. And there's also a stand. It kind of looks like a little record in the behind him in the box, but that's actually a stand that he stands on. So Johnny Silverhand figure for the upcoming Cyberpunk 2077. Had to pick this up, guys. And I know I'm not the only one that ended up picking up a Johnny Silverhand figure after that video. I know my buddy Kamikaze Kun did as well. You know, he shows his figure. His is a little different. You know, another one. Go check that video out, guys. Kamikaze Kun, definitely really cool looking figures. All right, so my next pickup is something a bunch of us finally started getting, guys. And some of you probably know what that is just by hearing that we finally started getting it. And that is the TurboGrafx 16 Mini finally, a lot of us pre-ordered this last year, and because of this pandemic going on, this got pushed back here in the United States, and the only way to get this was from ordering it from Amazon Japan. So honestly, I didn't need to have 2 of these, but I wanted to play it. So before, if you've been watching the channel, you know that I did order the Core Graphics Mini, or the PC Engine Core Graphics Mini, which is the European model. And honestly, these are both exactly the same except for the outer shell of them. And obviously the color of the controller and all that stuff. But I mean, the controller layout is exactly the same, and the game's 100% exactly the same. So basically, it was like I've already been playing this. But I didn't have the nostalgia, from actually having the mini console, because I did have this as a kid, and that's why I was so excited when I heard about this. I have made a few videos on this last year because I was pretty hyped for this to come out, and I was excited, especially when I heard all the games that were going to be on here. And there are some awesome games on this system, guys. Especially, I love shooters. If you love shooters, this is a system you're going to absolutely love. And these games are tough. My buddy Ace from Fit to Play Games is finding that out, but that is part of the fun of this. Okay, so now moving on to the couple of games that I picked up. So, trying to find them. Here they are. All right, so first off, these are Switch games, and I love collecting for the Switch. If you guys been watching, I have a pretty big physical Switch game collection, and honestly, lately I haven't picked up many games because I really haven't been able to find stuff that I didn't already have, or I'm either waiting for stuff to get shipped, or I ordered stuff that, from like limited run, and I'm waiting for the orders to be filled or whatever so they can finally ship it. And there'll be stuff showing up that I forgot I even ordered. But these were games that did come out today. I've been waiting for these collections to come out, guys. So the first one I picked up is the BioShock collection. Absolutely awesome. And all these collections just really needed to be on Switch. So when I heard these were announced, I was excited. So BioShock. We also got the Borderlands collection. Absolutely awesome to play these console games in handheld. I mean, it still blows my mind that we're playing a handheld that plays console games. And the XCOM collection. Absolutely awesome. I love these strategy games. I didn't play them up until a few years back, and since I started, I just absolutely love them. They're just, so much fun. They really make you think, and I do enjoy having to think ahead. Not a game you can play all the time, but if you get into them, man, they are addictive, and it's hard to stop. So usually when I start playing one of these, I just play it all the way through. So absolutely excited for these 3 collections that came out today. So awesome stuff. And there was also one more game that came out today that I actually had pre-ordered, and it was supposed to be shipped here, and it didn't get shipped yet. So thanks, GameStop. Looks like I'll be getting it maybe by Tuesday of next week. So we'll have to wait and see. But it is a game I really wanted to play over the weekend. And I'll give you guys a hint. I did get the Master Works Edition, and that is your hint. So yeah, I probably gave it away completely, if you can see that. I know there's a glare, but there's your hint, guys. So something I really wanted to play this weekend, but looks like I won't be playing that. But that's okay, because I got other stuff I can play. And the last pickup that I got is something that I really wanted to get when it came out, but other things came up, and unfortunately it just was not even relevant at the time. So but I've been wanting to get it ever since, and I finally did. And that is the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 2 2DS, the cheese wedge version. I honestly do not own any of the 2DSs that are in this, cheese wedge style, is I guess what they call it. But I wanted this, from when I first heard it was announced, before it even came out. I did think about pre-ordering it, but I always planned on just picking it up. And honestly, I was like, I could have picked it up a couple times, and I was like, I'll get it the next time. I put it off, and then unfortunate events happened, and it was the last thing on my mind. So now it is finally in my collection where it needed to be this whole time. So happy to have this. Okay, guys, so now I'm going to get into the reply part of the video. So to reply to Matt from Chillscissors' question, why I started collecting. I'm sure for all of us, it's similar, but probably different. I never was attached to things ever, my whole life. Less is more. I didn't care. I moved around a lot when I was younger, and every time I moved, I got rid of more stuff. I just made it easy so I could just pick up and move and go to the next place. And that pretty much was my lifestyle for a while. I would just go wherever I wanted to go. And, I worked a lot, so I just, personal belongings, I had a few things, and as I kept moving from place to place, I'd get rid of more things, and eventually I didn't have much stuff from my childhood left. I basically got rid of most of it, gave it away, sold it, whatever. I just basically had enough, or basically everything I had with me was in a vehicle. Basically, I could probably pack it up in a vehicle. I had a couple guitars, a video game console, or maybe 2 video game consoles, a few games, and just my clothes. And that's because I would settle down somewhere, acquire stuff, and then just I'm leaving, and then I'd get rid of stuff to make it easier to move, and then start over. And I did that a bunch of times, and as you do that, you just lose things, get rid of things, whatever. Well, through the years, I would amass collections of games, huge collections, multi-platforms, and just tons of games. And unfortunately, things would happen, or maybe I just wasn't playing them, I got too busy, and I just sell them all. For no reason. Sometimes I just get rid of all the stuff, and then I almost start from square one again. And then I'd feel like, hey, I want to start kind of collecting for this, and I just buy all this stuff, and then kind of just buy tons and tons of games, amass another huge, maybe 3 collections, sell it all off. And looking back, it was just so stupid. Especially too, some of those games were just phenomenal, and some of them just so expensive now. It's just stuff that I will probably never have again. And it stings. And I'm sure most people have stories like this with these collections. They got rid of stuff, and it does sting. You do think about it, but hey, it's just stuff. And like I said, I was never one that really cared. I wasn't attached to this stuff. But through the years, I'm settled down now. I have kids, and years back, I was looking around, and I really didn't have much of anything. I didn't have really a hobby anymore. It seemed like all that I did was just work all the time, and I didn't have nothing to show for it because I was always working, and I never really kept anything. And, one thing that I always did have a lot of is games, but I always sold them. So it was like, what? I'm not doing that no more. I'm not selling them anymore. You know what? I was like, I'm taking back over my basement and turning it into a game room. Because at one time I had, this, all set up, furniture, huge TV, surround sound, and it was just like my man cave. And at some point, I have some major health problems. Some of you guys know this. Some of you, probably most of you don't. But I have major heart issues. And like I don't normally talk about it. I think I made one video on it early on the channel, and I don't think I've ever brought it up again. But I do have major heart problems. Most people don't know this about me. I do have an artificial heart valve, and I have a pacemaker with a defibrillator. And I didn't always have the defibrillator until like about a year and a half ago. I basically dropped dead in my game room here. You know, as I was about to walk out of here up the steps, I just dropped. Now my heart went into an arrhythmia, and I wasn't pumping oxygen through my body, and I blacked out and went into cardiac arrest. And luckily they, you know, my wife and my kids heard my head hit the concrete and yelled for me. I didn't answer, so they did come running down, called 911 and did CPR until they got there. And I was dead for about 5 minutes. I didn't go into detail in the video that I made, so if any of you guys are interested in that, I hate even talking about this stuff because it is pretty damn depressing and morbid. And you know, I like to be upbeat and not really focus on this kind of stuff, but it is part of who I am and part of my life. So you know, I'll put the video up in the end card, so if you're interested, you can check that out. I do go into detail what happened, what I seen, because I did have an afterlife experience when this all happened. And you know, I when I made this video, it was all pretty fresh in my head. It was, you know, within probably the first maybe 5-6 months after it happened. And you know, it was something I couldn't even shake if I wanted to. It's still burned into my head. But ever since then, I definitely have been able to reflect on things, and it, you know, made me appreciate just life in general even more. And I try not to take things for granted. I try to live every day as it is my last, because it honestly could be the last. And you know, the one good thing, even with the YouTube channel, that's actually most of the reason that I started the channel. But people had kind of, you know, wanted me to do it, but that was really the big push I needed. Because I was like, why not? Why not do it? Because I already had started collecting, and honestly, I started collecting too because I wanted to get back some of that stuff that I got rid of through the years, through hard times too. I also, when I didn't want to sell collections, once I had already made my mind up about keeping stuff, I had major heart surgeries and stuff. I couldn't do my normal career for a while, and this happened a couple times. I had to sell off all my stuff, everything, the TVs, all that stuff, and almost start over. It's amazing. I like, you know, still had a house after all that stuff, because it financially ruined me multiple times. But you know, there's one thing, I've always been persistent, and I always tried to work hard. So, you know, that was just, that's a huge part of why I do collect. And now too, I do collect because not only is it for me, it's something cool for my family, my kids. If something does happen to me, all this stuff is theirs. They could do whatever they want with it. They could sell it, they could keep it, they could keep what they want, because there is going to be things that they see that are going to be attached to memories, nostalgic feelings that they're going to have, you know, because they're not always going to be little. And you know, these things that I have, a lot of the stuff that I get are things that I do have a nostalgic connection with, because they do bring back memories from when I was a kid. Just like right here, you know, these two games right here, Legend of Zelda 1 and 2, these bring back awesome memories of me hanging out with my brother, my little sister, and my parents, which the only one that's still with us is my brother. So, you know, it's pretty awesome stuff to have these memories. And, you know, memories of something like this, waiting with my family for something like Super Mario 3 to come out, and you know, anticipating it with the rest of the world at the time, because Mario was so cool, and you know, they were awesome games. And starting with the first one, I remember busting out that NES, playing Duck Hunt, you know, early on, playing Mario 1 and just playing it with my parents, my brother, my sister, all of us having a blast. And those memories are, you know, just a great thing. And I think Matt from Chillscissors, he really drove it home, was saying it's, you know, just like a best friend you know, that it's nice to visit every once in a while. And it's really cool having these games to just look at, pull off a shelf like a library of them, and just have a memory, a new memory, an old memory. It's a lot of fun, kind of, you know, lose yourself in a game. It takes your mind off of a lot of crazy things. And since that other crazy stuff happened to me, I learned that, you know, sometimes that other stuff doesn't matter. You know, some of the stuff with your job or whatever, yeah, you got to do it to survive, but, you know, that stuff, honestly, it's not that important. You know, a lot of stuff that we stress about isn't really important. Yeah, you got to take care of your stuff, but at the end, it doesn't matter. And that's one thing that I learned with all that stuff happening to me. But that is why, honestly, I started collecting. That's why I made a YouTube channel. But, you know, so Matt, I hope that answers your question up some. Guys, I'm sorry if this got kind of depressing. I didn't want it to go there, but hey, this is the reasons, for me anyway. But like I said, I'll leave, you know, that video in the end card if you want to check it out. If not, whatever, that's fine too. But thanks guys, I appreciate you watching, especially if you stuck to the end. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed already, guys, think about subscribing to the channel. I try to put gaming content out like this as much as I can. But thanks again, guys. I'm the War Train, and I'm out. Have a good one.